Hello and welcome to dEskape the Dark. So this is a game in the style of Desktopia, if you've seen it, and if you haven't I would definitely suggest you check it out before looking further into this one. It's already released and there will be a link down in the description. This game utilizes the same technology and same game engine to create a usable experience at the bottom of your screen which allows you to work, browse or watch something else while you play. On Desktopia it's a village builder. On this one the idea is to escape a planet, and it has a huge number of differences from the original, so I will be referring to the original as I go through to Desktopia. So these games were designed in unison. We made them at the same time. Desktopia turned out to have it was easier to produce. It had a level system, so the levels were smaller and easier, and we didn't have to do so many complicated things to make the game run smoothly. So Desktopia first, and then we released The End of the Road, which was a long level for Desktopia, which was 10 times longer than anything we'd ever seen before, and this one is 5 times longer than that. This is a huge map, and unlike Desktopia, you start in the middle. You don't start at one end and work your way along. You start wherever your cruise ship crashes, and if you go one way you can walk all around the asteroid to the other side, which I'm not going to do because it takes forever. It's a huge planet. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my tool to suck up all the resources that crashed with my ship. Now please remember this is still in beta, so you're going to see a lot of things that look a bit janky, which will obviously be cleaned up to Desktopia standards by the time of release. So here we are. My ship has crashed. I've collected the resources that came around and there doesn't seem to be anything else, so I'm going to go into the build menu. I'm going to adjust it. I'm playing in 2560. This is quite a big menu. Here we go. And the only thing I can build is a homestead because I need to be safe. So I'm going to do that. That's my cat meowing in the background. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've built a house and a little animal's come along. And this animal is attracting lightfall. And this is a resource that falls from the sky and is attracted to these creatures of light, which are in turn attracted to anything you build. So if you build a homestead, you get a little creature. The bigger the creature, the more valuable the orbs that come down, and these fulfill one of these resources. Now in Desktopia there's only one resource, gold, well, 2 really, gratitude from your villagers, but there's nothing like that here, so no gratitude. Instead there's actual usable resources. We've got materials, which there are lots of around at the beginning because of your crash ship, but they become scarcer later, and light, which is scarce at the beginning, but the more creatures you get, the more light you get. Well, there is a pollution factor which slows that down later, and these are unique resources which are produced by unique creatures, and there are ways to lure those. So now I have a choice. I can either build storage and increase the amount I can hold of each of these things, which is important if I want to build anything really, I have to, or I can build this one time for a starlight. Here we go. Amongst the ship's debris, one of the landing thruster lights seems to have survived. I could rig it up to the generator balloon in the sky. Perhaps will attract more friendly creatures. Well, let's do that because... Oh, and here we go. And as you see, it built on the other side of my crash landing site. Now the idea is to escape the planet. So eventually you build a ship here and you escape the planet if you can do it. But there's a lot to do before that, including rescuing crew members, creating all the infrastructure for that, and making sure that you don't get attacked. So here's our radar, which is something you don't see on Desktopia. Not really needed. Everything's right down the road. Well, there's no enemies around at the moment, so that's fine. Let's go out and explore a little bit. As we're waiting for some resources. So here we go. I've got into the darkness. Now the further you get away from your power grid, the weaker both your torch and your laser become. So if I open my journal and show you, you can see my laser power is currently at 40, but if I move off, 35 as the torch drops, so the laser power drops. We might add a smoother gradient to the drop. As I said, everything's still in beta at the moment. So here we go, let's go and collect some of these orbs that have dropped around. And then let's build some storage, because we're definitely going to need some for everything else. There we go, and let's build it back on this side. And we're going to get more and more frequent light drops now. There are, in the final game, there are going to be resource drops that drop outside the village, which you can go and collect. They don't exist at the moment. They haven't been written in. They're all to do with this, this pod track system. As we unlock this, more options open up, which I'll show you later. Anyway, the idea is to build up a settlement and escape. And I'm going to load a later game here. Here we go. So here is a more built-up village. And as you can see, it's got a very different aesthetic and look and style from Desktopia. In Desktopia, all the buildings are the same size. Here they're all very different. Getting attacked from both sides too is a issue. So at the moment, I'm playing this game on easy mode, which these larger dots are hives, and they are all at level 9 at the moment because I haven't been dealing with them. I've just been building up my village, and these are at level 9, so they're producing a lot of enemies quite near the village, attracted to the light. Occasionally they'll come and raid, but not so often on the idle-ish mode I'm playing on. This is Defense Bot. One of these, well, once you build a defense droid factory, get some droid research, you can start getting more of these. When you build the defense droid factory, one of these go to each end of your village and try and stop any incoming enemies. The attack droid factory, well, this is this little guy who's following me around. He will come with me, and I can increase the number of attack droids. I can increase the output as I get more research and more cost. I can give these droids new skills and upgrade them so they look different with new attacks. It's all pretty cool for destroying enemies and using the pod track system, which is this, to rescue crew members. So this is still in implementation. We've done all the code and we've done all the graphics. It's just putting it together to make it work. There's nothing like this in Desktopia, so there's no sharing of code. It's all newly written. In fact, we rewrote most of the code. As you can see, there are some similarities in the menus. So this menu is Desktopia menu, but other than that, it's all pretty fresh. Well, I think that's all I want to show for the moment. As you can see, very different vibe from Desktopia, but very similar idea. You build up, rather than going through levels, it's all on one map this time. There's an infinite sized map, you can go all the way around. You'll never fill it. Even if you complete the game, you couldn't fill this whole planet with infrastructure. You'd have built your rocket and left long before then, because it's absolutely immense. Alright, here we go. We've reached the other end of the village with my other droid. As you can see, everything's displayed on the radar. There'll be more things coming soon, and it's just putting it all together now. We're hoping for a release this summer, and well, I'll keep you updated and let you know how it's going. Thank you, and bye.